Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, my name is Rachel. I'm a feminine life coach, and on this channel, I talk about how feminine energy has transformed my life and how it can yours too. Today's topic, I'll be talking about 9 easy ways to be more present in your life. I don't know about you, but I have a very hard time being present, especially in this masculine centered world that we live in, where everyone and everything is go, go, go. And I tend to be that type of person that is always going and doing. And what I have found, because I've always been like that, when I am actually taking time to be present, I feel way more fulfilled than anything that can get accomplished in my day or get accomplished in my future. And when I found that out, I was addicted to being more present, even though it was still hard to be present because I have 3 children and I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I'm always finding new ways to express my creativity. When I am present and when I can slow down and exude my feminine energy, I feel so fulfilled within myself. And I also know that when I'm in that state of presence, the people around me feel more fulfilled by me. I experienced this so fully when I read the book Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. I read that a couple years ago, and I would read it every day on my morning walk. I would take my mom's puppies out on a walk. They needed to go on a walk every day while I was pet sitting them, and I took my kids in the stroller, and we just walked around the neighborhood as I read this book. And it was some of the most fulfilling and peaceful time in my life, not only for myself, but for my children as well. I felt like they were more fulfilled and at peace because I was just so present, because that book literally like transforms your life, makes you understand what presence is and how important it is. So I will link that book down below in this video so that you have that. I think it's like $9 on Amazon. It's super cheap, but it completely transformed my life. So the first topic about being present is breaking down your goals. And I talk with my clients about this all the time. You need to get clarity around what it is that you are desiring to get done, that you want to do, what you want to achieve in life. Because if you don't have clarity, then you're going to be like a chicken with its head cut off, constantly running around trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. Your thoughts are going to be scattered. You're always going to be up in your head, and your feminine energy is not in your head. Your feminine energy is down here in your root chakra, in your solar plexus. And so when you can feel that gut feeling of instinct, intuition and presence, then you know that you are in your feminine energy and you're feeling the benefits of being present. So the thing I like to ask is, how can you fully enjoy right now if you're constantly looking at the next thing to do? And a lot of times we attract into our lives more of the energy that we are giving out. That's just how the universe works. So I find that sometimes my to-do list is exponentially long, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get all of this done. Where is this coming from? Why do I have so much on my plate right now? And it's because I'm attracting it to me, because the more that I say yes to picking up a task that is busy work, the more that I will be given those things. What is it that is most important to me right now? And if it's most important that I just sit in the presence of my children and watch them play and know that that's what I want more of, and I'm telling the universe, hey, I want more of this, that's how you're going to get it, is by just prioritizing and stopping what you're doing and really just focusing on what it is that makes you feel best and a lot of times it's just being present. So it's that choosing. So a lot of times we self sabotage ourselves by choosing those things that keep us busy and keep us from being present. And I tell my clients this all the time. It is all about a choice. You get to choose what your life is going to be like. And that is so freeing and also so scary for a lot of people. But it is so important to know. And if you want to live your best life, you have to choose what is best for you. You have to choose what is in alignment with your dreams and your goals. Because if you don't choose, you're just going to keep living the same life that you're living. The next one is say yes as often as possible. I was always so against this because I have 3 children, and if I say yes all the time, they're going to be eating sugar all the time. They're going to be doing things that are not good for them, that are dangerous, um, because they don't understand. And so I've always been in this mentality of, I can't say yes all the time. I have to have these boundaries, and it's almost like habitual to say no or maybe later. But I tried it out for one day, and I was so impressed with the results of me saying yes to them all day long. I said yes with some parameters around it. And I guess in a way, I always said no to preserve my energy. And I think that a lot of people are like that in a lot of ways. They tend to say no, and because they're trying to preserve their energy, it's a natural human instinct. Um, but what I have found is that when you say yes, you're actually saying yes to a lot of what God and the universe is allowing or is presenting to you as this opportunity. And you're missing out the more that you say no. Um, so I like to practice this with my children, but ultimately it is about saying yes to God and the universe. And this is called divinely aligned action. And I talk to my clients about this too, and how it feels, what it looks like. Because when you are divinely aligned, you're going to achieve those goals because you sent out to God, to the universe, this desire in your heart, and they are trying, the universe and God is working on your behalf to accomplish this. But when you say no to things, or when you block that divinely aligned um, voice inside of you, then you're going to miss out on what the path is to that goal. And sometimes it doesn't even look close to the path that we're trying to get towards. But really, it is in complete trust that we actually attain those things that we desire. The next point is self-care. And I just want to put out there that you are allowed to take care of yourself. You are allowed to take a nap. You are allowed to spend some time by yourself. And I know a lot of moms need to hear that, because a lot of times we will feel guilty if we are spending time for ourselves and we are not spending time with our children. But there's that balance of making sure that you spend time with them and being present for them, but you're also, or being present for your partner, being present for your friends, your work. But then there's also so much importance that we need to realize when we take care of ourselves, we are filling our cup so that we can then flow out to other people. So, how can you expect to give of yourself when you're empty? And I've learned this recently. Women actually need 20 more minutes of sleep at least than men every night. So I like to sleep in at least 20 minutes longer than my husband. And I feel like that makes a world of a difference. Another important aspect of this point is that when you slow down enough, you can know what you need. So if you're constantly busy and in your head, you're not going to know what it is that you need. You're not going to have those intuitive downloads. You're not going to have that creative space, that mental space to be able to bring in, to know what it is that God is communicating to you, because you're going to be so blocked out, and presence is where God meets us. So it is so important to make sure that you make space and time for yourself. And this goes into my next point, nervous system regulation. I made a video on this. I think it was 10 points on how to regulate your nervous system. Go back and watch that. I have had so much success with EFT tapping and things like that. So go and watch my video on how to do that, because when you regulate your nervous system, body then relaxes and is able to receive that present state so much more easily than if we're wired up and if we're needing a coffee or something to distract ourselves with. One of the easiest ways to regulate your nervous system is just by going outside and grounding. I can't talk about this enough, because I feel like so many people do not take for granted the fact that being outside is so healing for our bodies in so many ways. But one of the biggest things is it regulates our nervous system, and it receives the energy or the electrical impulses in our body from our feet. So grounding is so important, because if we're grounding, we're sending the stressful energy from our body into the earth and then receiving back up the abundance of what is in the earth, the energy that's coming from the earth. I've stopped myself in my track and realized that I was not allowing myself to be fully present, and it kind of shocked me in the moment, because I was like, wow, where is this coming from? Um, and I realized that I have this oldest daughter syndrome. If you've heard of it, if you're an oldest daughter, you understand that oldest daughters tend to take the responsibility of everyone and everything around them, and they're always busy and always trying to take care of everyone. So oldest daughter syndrome is just that you're always busy in your mind and always looking for something to do, kind of. And I was watching my baby just cooing and being super cute in the car, and I like turned my head away and started looking outside, and I was like, why am I looking away from this beautiful being that I can just like completely immerse myself in and feel so much joy and peace from just watching her be so cute? And I realized that I was limiting myself from receiving this abundant presence. So I had to stop myself and say, it's okay to watch her. Watch her as long as is enjoyable for you. And I think we do that so often in life. We turn the other cheek from the things that are so beautiful, that are so fulfilling in life, because we don't feel worthy of it. And I work with my clients so much on this, because I feel like the number one limiting belief is self-worth. And it's so hard to undo, but once you figure it out, it opens up your world to everything that the universe is. It's so abundant. And because of how we were raised as children, we have these limiting beliefs that we're not worthy of this abundance. And it's so false. I wanted to add in here one really cool trick that I learned, and it's turning your phone to grayscale. I have a hard time putting my phone down, and I talked to my husband last night about this. I was just like, wouldn't it be so much easier if we just like got computers and then we switched our phones to like dumb phones, like ones that don't have screens? And he was like, yeah, I would love that. But my job requires me to have a phone. I need my GPS. I need to look things up. I need to scan codes. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I need those things too. And it's kind of like almost impossible to live in a world now without our phones. It's sad, but it's also cool because, this technology is evolving and we're able to do so much more than we used to, which is amazing. But at the same time, we have tools that can help us to limit our usage of these tools as much as we can. So when I found this out, I was like, yes, let's do this. So when you switch your phone to grayscale, it actually triggers something in your mind to not desire to look at it as long as you do. And I found that, like, when I switched it to grayscale, I had no desire to keep scrolling. I had no desire to keep looking at social media. It was almost like looking at a newspaper. Like, I read the important things that I needed to, and then I put it down. So I feel like that is such a cool thing to learn, and to implement in your life. And you simply, like, if you have an iPhone, you would just go to settings and accessibility. And then I think it's like changing the color or hues display, something like that. If you Google it, it'll show you how to do that. And it's just as simple as that. And then you can take it off if you need to. But it's such a cool trick on how to be more present. My next point is your presence is healing. I've experienced this so many times with my children and with my husband, and I don't know if it's just me and how I am, but your feminine essence is so powerful. It's so intoxicating and it's so healing to everyone around you, to especially to your family and your partner. And I think we take that for granted and we just, keep ourselves busy, keep ourselves away. But when I'm just sitting in the presence of someone, they get filled up, they feel good, they feel at peace. That I feel like almost their nervous system regulates when I'm just with them. And they need that. My family needs that, for me to just be present with them. And your kids will teach you, if you have children, they will teach you how to live a life that is in alignment with your true self, because they'll constantly ask you for what it is that is best for them and best for you most of the time, if you're just willing to listen. Because my kids are always like, can we do this? Can we do that? And again, going back to the yes thing, when I just say yes, I'm not drained of my energy. I actually have more fun. I find that I am so much more fulfilled when I say yes and when I give my presence to them. And sometimes that's all my husband wants from me, is just for me to sit next to him. Not even for me to, like, put my arm around him or hold his hand, just for me to be sitting in the same room as him is sometimes all that he wants, all that he desires. And I think that's pretty powerful. Like, we have this energy that is healing and intoxicating, like I said. So, a great way to actually help yourself practice this and make this easier for yourself is by meditating. When you meditate, you get used to your own presence, which can be scary sometimes. But if you just let yourself meditate, your body will get used to being present, and then it can be present for other people as well. And the last thing I'm going to say about this point is, when you give someone a hug, never be the first one to let go. I saw someone say this and I was like, wow, I'm usually the first one to let go. And my children need those hugs longer, or somebody else needs a hug longer than I do. And I am taking that away from them when I could be giving a gift of love and presence. So never be the first one to let go of a hug, because sometimes your children will just hang on because they need it. The next one is less is more. And we are packing up and moving right now. And so a lot of things are in boxes. And I'm just so tempted to be like, throw out the boxes. We don't need them. Because when we have less in our home, there's less to think about, there's less clutter, and we're just more outside and able to be present and enjoy our life. And I have been tempted to go down the minimalist route, but I'm also a type of person that loves my makeup, loves my decor, loves getting people things. And, I have a lot of supplements that I take, and I like to have different options in clothing and different options in food. So for me, minimalism is not as attractive um, because of those aspects, but I know that minimalism can be so beneficial to your life. So it really depends on what direction you want to go with your life. But I do feel like minimalism is such a healthy way to live, because when you have less clutter, then you're able to focus on what really matters. And also, when you have a routine, that helps you to not be in your head all the time thinking about what's the next thing to do. You just automatically go to that thing, and it helps children as well. I'm sorry I'm talking about children so much, but um, they're our next generation. They're gonna, heal the world. And so it's important for us to invest in children, even if you don't have your own. It is so important to just tell a child that they're special and that they're going to do something great one day, because they will. So less is more, because then there's less worry and more ability to be present. The next point is journaling. Transfer your thoughts to paper. When you're able to transfer them to paper, your subconscious actually comes out through your hand onto the paper. You're able to process it a lot more clearly than you would if you just processed it in your head. And they say that it actually takes 90 seconds for an emotion to flow through you. And I feel like that is just for one emotion. If you're just feeling one thing, if you have a lot of pent up emotions and anger towards something or someone that's been a pattern in your life, then you're going to probably need more than 90 seconds. But if there's something that's bothering you in the day, 90 seconds is all it takes to completely feel that emotion and allow it to exit your body, as long as you're completely, fully feeling it. And journaling really helps to do that. It also helps you to be present, because your eyes and your hands have to do something tactile in that moment to bring yourself into the present state. And then the last topic I want to talk about is celebrate the little things. Today, I told my kids that we're going to have a dance party. We haven't done that in a while. We made that a pattern for a long time when they were younger. And since they've been in preschool, it's not been as often. But I want to get back into that, because when you move your hips, you're releasing emotion through your hips. And it's also just so fun, something that you can fully be present with your family. I would recommend doing this even with your partner. Like, just turn on whatever is your favorite song and just start grooving, and allow them, like, see if they want to join you in that vibration. And when we celebrate the little things, it brings so much more vibrancy to our life. So I hope this video is helpful for you and something that you can use in your everyday life to be more present, because when we are present, we are in the energy of God, source, life existence, and we can fully enjoy what it is that's before us and live a more fulfilling life. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day.